Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the comeback episode of the Really Random Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ruben Frosto Jr.
I'm Abraham Frosto.
And I am Josue Aleman.
The
It's kind of
oddball.
awkward. Yeah, I know. It's kind of
The
awkward to be the only
oddball.
one. not,
The one that's not a Frosto.
not a Frausto.
Not worthy of the name, you could
Freak.
say.
No.
You bald loser. No.
Hey, tell me how you really feel.
But yeah, like I said, this is the comeback episode. It's been a long while, guys.
Yeah.
It's been a long while. I mean, we still hang out.
Yeah,
not,
we
you
just
know.
don't make a
We
podcast.
just
Nothing.
not on camera. Haven't recorded anything.
So a little history on that. The reason we stopped doing podcasts was because of Abraham. Abraham had just gotten a new job,
It's all my
and
fault.
he was working Sundays.
It's all my
Yeah.
fault. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's right. He's
yeah.
like, I can't make it anymore.
Can't
guys.
make it for the next couple weeks, and then we just stopped because then COVID hit.
Yeah.
Like
That
2
was
weeks
like
after.
the next.
So it wasn't all my fault.
Mainly your
It was
fault.
90%
I think
your
me
fault.
and Josue will agree with
COVID was my fault.
COVID is also your
Yeah.
fault.
I did it.
You were a COVID denier for a little bit.
Yeah.
You denied it. Josue, did you
Yeah.
ever deny COVID?
No, you know what? I
No.
denied like everything they were saying as far as like what happened. So I was like, "Come on, bat soup!" Like
Bad soup. No one
I was
said
like,
bad
this
soup.
came
They said it
out
came
of a
from
lab
bats.
that was exposed to
Did you ever
people
see-
purposely for political agendas and gain.
Sure, but did you ever see Contagion?
No.
No one ate bat pig soup. It was a bat bit into a bit of pig. And that's how
Was
the pig
it?
got it. And then they cooked the pig, and that's how it transmitted to people.
Wasn't the girl from that Contagion? She put like a public like some statement where she was saying like,
Gwyneth Paltrow?
yeah, she's like, oh, you should wash your hands. Like, I'm from the movie Contagion.
Probably.
She's trying to do like a
I wouldn't
PSA.
trust anything she says, though. She sticks crystals up her butt to ward off evil energies.
Oh, I heard about
She does that.
I heard
What?
Yeah.
Google it.
She sells them. She's been getting a lot. I don't know if she sells them now.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Butt crystals. Or vaginas. They might be vaginas to like keep your virginity intact.
One of the two. It's a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty gross and hilarious at the same time. But anyways, yeah. So Abraham was a COVID. Josue, did you ever deny COVID?
No.
You know, I never denied COVID. Like, I knew COVID was serious. Do you know why? Because in January, when I had to cancel my flight to Japan, they gave me a full refund, and airlines will never
Never
give
do
you a
that.
full refund.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, cash refund.
I remember you were supposed to go to Japan.
That sucks.
That
I was
sucks.
supposed to go too, but then I never bought the ticket
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah,
supposed
you
to
were.
go.
Yeah.
You
I
made
said
no
I
plan.
was gonna go, and everyone was like, "Okay, yeah, you're coming, right?" And I was like, "Yeah,
That fool was never gonna
for
go.
sure.
Yeah,
Let's
you-
go."
And I would tell him, Abraham, you buy your ticket? No, I'll buy it next week. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
buy
He would
next
tell
week,
me
bro.
that every week. But yeah, so like when they gave me a full cash refund, and this is Air China, all right? You know how the Chinese are. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know, Junior. How are the Chinese?
They're what? They're okay.
They're
but
okay, baby.
communists, you know. Other than that,
The cams.
Except for the whole concentration camp thing.
yeah. Oh, that's something we couldn't talk about. That's crazy. And
Wait,
people are
what
just
that-
like kind of
Before that, I do
want
want to talk like, what are some of the plans that you had for the year
They got canceled.
that got just obviously Japan? That's a pretty big one.
I think
I don't think I had anything.
like one of the last podcasts we did, we talked about all the plans we had for 2020. It was like
Yeah.
closing out 2019, and we had like a bunch of things we wanted to set out to do.
Yeah, there was a
Yours, I
lot of
think, was-
movies I wanted.
Yours
to
was,
see
I think, to
Japan.
travel or something
Yeah, I
like
want
that.
to travel more.
Oh, we did make plans, huh? What we wanted to do.
We were
Mine,
hoping to do. Yeah.
mine was I had a lot of concerts planned to go to that I didn't get to go to any of
Oh
them.
yeah, you were like,
I
I'm
had
gonna
like
go to
I had-
every concert.
So I had tickets to Bottle Rock to go see Red Hot Chili Peppers. That got canceled. I got Rage Against the Machine tickets in Oakland. That got canceled. I also had bought tickets to see Green Day and Fall Out Boy in Oracle Park, AT&T Park, formerly in
yeah.
SF. That got canceled.
Did you get your money back for these?
No, they're on hold, but the tickets are still valid until like when they repost the new dates for everything.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
I was
all
like,
right.
I was like, all right, yeah.
So
I
they
mean, I
don't let
still
you
want to. I
cancel
want
it?
to. Like, I still want to go to.
I'm
all
pretty
of
sure
them.
if you cancel, they give you a full refund. Or
Yeah.
No? Oh, all right.
Like, because they gave everyone the option, like, you
weren't you
can
gonna,
hold on
didn't
to
you
the
want to go
tickets.
to like Arizona for Rage Against the Machine?
I
Oh
thought
yeah,
about
I
that.
thought he was gonna go.
But that was before they announced like a full tour of like the whole entire United States. Because initially I thought there was a post somewhere, I think on Instagram,
That was gonna be
That
they
they
were gonna be
said
there only.
there was to be like only 5 shows, and one of them was in Phoenix, right? And so that was when we hit up, or we were talking
Yeah,
about like, hitting up Eddie.
yeah.
We're like, hey, you're a Rage fan. Like
come
can
on, bro.
Let's stay at your house. You know,
Let's make
we
this
basically
happen.
wanted to barter, like, hey, come to the concert and let us stay at your house, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not bartering because you're not giving them anything. Buy your own ticket, but let us stay at your house.
It's the pleasure of knowing, he's doing something for us. That's
That's
a
not
gift
bartering.
that's a gift in and of itself.
All right. Mine was like I had a list. Like I did want to travel.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to take that. I wanted to be competitive in the game I played the card game.
Mm.
Right. I said I wanted to
Yeah.
be, so I knew I was gonna have to travel, and I wanted to do that. And that obviously.
Didn't you go to Vegas?
I did go to Vegas.
You had one like
There was one, and
then
it was
that
like the month before COVID hit.
and then that was
And that
Oh
was
yeah,
it.
you went in February, huh?
Yeah.
yeah.
To Vegas.
Dang.
It was
How
a
was-
good trip though.
How was Vegas for the listeners?
It was good. How
Was
was
your-
Hard Rock Casino?
It was
For
your
the
first time going
listeners.
to Vegas,
It
huh?
was my first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I turned up. Jesus don't live in Vegas. Ain't no
No.
church in the wild.
There is church. There is a church.
There is a church. There's two,
That is a
isn't
joke.
there?
Yeah,
There's
there's
two
two
churches
churches
in
there.
Vegas.
That was a joke. I didn't go. I didn't have time to go wild. I was busy.
There's always
playing.
time to go to Wild. Always
Lame.
time.
But no, Vegas is cool. But I wanted to go to I was planning to go to Atlanta. It would have been last week. I would have gone to Atlanta.
For is it
for the-
Magic the Gathering? No, it's the other
No,
one,
it's-
right?
yeah, it's
FSP or
UFS.
something. UFS.
Yeah. I would have gone to Atlanta. I was planning to go to LA for it in
Yeah.
July ish.
Dang.
But that all got canceled. And there was a bunch of movies coming out that I was like so excited for. I did get to watch Tenet, which was dope. If you guys still haven't seen it.
I've
I
heard
haven't seen it.
otherwise. I've heard that it was.
No, I've heard nothing but good things about that.
Yeah, I heard that it was. It was.
You probably won't like it, Josue, because
I
it's
don't
not
know.
your type of movie. It's a movie where you actually have to pay attention.
What do you mean? That's the kind of movie that I
Nah,
like.
you and your brother both like mindless action movies. Don't lie.
Those are easy to watch, but what was Invisible Man was kind of like think about it a little bit.
Not really.
Yeah, because like towards
Uh-huh.
the end,
Oh, where it's like it made you think if it was
It made
really
you
the
think
was
if
he
it
really
was-
a prisoner
yeah.
of his brothers or
or was she the crazy like?
I guess it
something like
left that open ended technically, but I mean it's pretty obvious.
yeah.
Like it's super listed.
She did it, She was a
well,
crazy
yeah,
one.
she killed the dude at the end, obviously.
and there
But that
goes
was
the
never the
spoiler.
part. That was never the part that was in question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about movies that you were gonna watch?
I wanted to watch Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman 2 was coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That got postponed.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah, I was super high on Tenet, but I still haven't seen it yet. Even though some movie theaters are open again.
Yeah, they're open
Most
like
of them.
25%.
Most
Most
of
theaters
them.
are here at least. They're open like 25%, which is cool. I want to take the kids to movies, but I don't think that's gonna happen because like I didn't take them last month because everything was just like Halloween movies. I didn't want to take the kids on a church event to go watch a
Yeah,
Halloween
to go watch
movie.
Halloween.
Why not?
movies.
And this month, and I'm guessing for December as well, it's all Christmas movies
I love Christmas.
At
movies,
the-
I'm not gonna
at the
lie.
movie theaters. Yeah, so it's just
Yeah.
like, what's the
Which
point?
one's open?
They're all open, just not Regal. Regal closed down forever.
Regal's
Good,
gone.
That sucks. They just built the one by your house.
Didn't you have a
the
membership?
nice one
I had the Emerald like
level.
member level. Yeah, like the
Yeah.
highest tier you can have in Regal.
Dang,
Because when we were
gone.
doing Popcorn Pimps, we went to the movies like every weekend,
Yeah.
and so I built up my status.
You
because
did
I was a
AMC,
club
right?
member, and,
I
yeah.
did Century.
Oh, Century. You did it right.
Yeah.
What Century? No, I still haven't.
That's the one you gotta
Yeah.
get.
Century's like right
Who
down.
gets like all kinds of perks?
Century's like right down the street from my house too, in Fremont.
Yeah.
So
Oh, so you get to go.
yeah,
Oh, that's another thing, Junior.
How do they do it?
yeah. COVID's been good
Oh,
to me,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
I made a
No,
lot of
full-
money.
moved
Got a
up.
fat promotion. Working for that AWS.
I used to work for
Working
Amazon.
9 to
Never
5.
worked for
Now it's 9 to
Amazon.
5,
I
right?
used to be an
No,
we
right
used to be
now I'm working
coworkers.
7 to 7.
Every
7 to
4
7?
days or what?
4 on, 3 on. So it's like 1 week I work 4 days, 12 hours every day. Next week I work 3 days,
12
12
hours.
hours. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but it's like after 8 hours, it's all overtime.
Oh, okay. That's good.
So
Dang, that's
I get
really good.
so like I did the math. Like working only 7 days every 2 weeks, I work like about 90 hours worth of work. So I get paid for 90 hours, only working 7 days instead of the 10 days.
It's pretty good.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I make a lot of money. It's pretty
Bank.
good.
That's good. I mean, most of it goes. No, but you don't pay that much rent, huh?
I pay like $11.50 for the tiniest,
$11.50?
crappiest
I
bedroom.
thought it was 900.
No,
And you share the house with like a bunch
like
of
9
dudes.
other
Yeah,
people.
9
huh?
other people, and it's the worst, man.
That's rough, dude.
It's so expensive.
And
too.
then a
It's like the
slot
cheapest.
of refrigerator.
A slot of a refrigerator. It's never enough space.
Yeah,
The
but how
walls
far are you from work?
thin.
Nah, not like 20 minutes. It's not bad. It's not bad now because I'm still dealing with COVID traffic. The other day there was actual traffic, and it was
Yeah.
the worst experience of my life.
Dang,
I was like late too because I woke up like half hour late. And I was
what
just
time
like,
do you start? Oh, you said
7,
7.
yeah.
Even then, there's heck of traffic.
No, but I woke up at 7, so I didn't leave the house till like
gotcha.
7:15.
And
Yeah.
by that time,
And
it's
at
traffic.
around 7 is when the traffic starts picking up.
Is it like a hard start at 7, or is it like
It's a hard start. at
around 7?
It's a hard start.
Oh.
Like they need, well, because the thing is, they need, since like I work at a data center, is they have to have 24-hour, like someone has to be there
Yeah.
24 hours. So it's like if I don't get there at 7, the guy that leaves at 7 can't leave.
That sucks.
So like when
he's
I got there like almost at 8 o'clock. I was like hella
Yeah.
late, and he was just like, "Dude, I'm trying to go home." I was like, "I'm sorry, bro."
Damn, that's
I was
Sure.
I forgot to set my alarm, and he texted me right at 7. He's like, you coming in today?" And I was like, "Oh crap!" I was like, my car won't start. Give me a couple minutes.
My car won't start.
Classic excuse,
Yeah.
right? My
I
car
hope
won't
no one
start.
hears this story.
That's funny. What's it called?
Well, it's going on the internet, so I mean, everyone's gonna hear the story.
Yeah, that kind of used to happen when we used to do like 24-hour shifts, like guarding the barracks, and so it's like 8
Weren't you
o'clock.
in Germany? Who the hell were you guarding it from?
Eight-
Hitler's ghost?
Hell yeah, what's it called? No, in Colorado especially, it was.
Who the heck are you guarding the base
The
from
Yeti?
Colorado?
You're supposed, so you guard it so that if people act dumb, then you're there to like calm them down or like call the MPs or like that's
how
how
it cost somebody.
it doesn't make sense. Like you're babysitting all the
building.
time a building the whole time so that people don't get robbed or if there's a fight, then you are able to.
Does every
like,
base do this? Like every base has people. on
every
guard?
base has like
It's
duty.
crazy that Fort Hood still had a murder there.
Yeah,
And there was
see.
somebody
That
supposed
happened.
to
There
go.
was somebody
as well.
supposed to be there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it sucks. And it's crazy because it's at the barracks and then it's at the.
I have a question about that. I've
battalion.
been wanting to
What's
ask someone in the military, like, why
What?
did it take them so long to start investigating that? Is that just normal?
To start
Is the
investigating
army
it.
slow like that?
To start investigating it through the civilian or through the military channels?
Through the military channels, because they didn't do an open investigation until like all those people started protesting in Houston.
Yeah, because typically what happens is that everything's handled, or a lot of things are handled indoors or like within house.
Yeah.
So I think what happens is that what happens is that there's an officer that gets assigned the case first. I don't know about a murder though, but like for most of the stuff that I've like seen, like sexual assault, stuff like that, typically what happens is that somebody from the unit gets assigned. The one officer says, you're gonna be in charge of like investigating and getting all the details, and then you bring those details to the commander and report it to them.
Oh,
and
it's
tell
not
them-
like specific investigators. They'll just ask random.
no,
people.
like it's like some dude freaking off of college is like, oh, you're good enough to go investigate the details. I don't know about a murder though.
This is just like the police
This
thing.
is for like a sexual assault or like any of those kind of crimes. So
Your
what happens?
taxpayers' dollars at work.
But the thing is, like, think
Yeah.
about it. Like, it's cheaper to do that than having to go contract. Of course, it's messier.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks for whoever
It
got
sucks
raped
for
or
whoever-
murder,
yeah,
but
right. But it's cheaper. So, I mean,
Should've
I'm
been
not.
doing their job.
What?
not raping or murdering people.
Oh yeah, that's. But
And you don't know
get
who we're talking
crazies.
about. We're talking about Vanessa. What's her last name?
Guillen.
Guillen?
Yeah.
Guillen.
Yeah.
You get crazies everywhere though.
She went like missing for like 3 months, and the military wouldn't tell her family anything.
Then they found her, I think.
No,
Oh,
then they
still haven't
opened an
found her.
investigation, and then it took them like another month and a half in order to find her.
Yeah.
They found some other guy who they had reported went MIA,
So the trippy thing
and
is
he was
that,
dead too.
Yeah, the trippy thing is that they didn't tell the family because that's like one of the first things that you would do. Is
They told
like,
her, oh, she just left
yeah,
when they
that's-
had no idea what happened.
So that's probably what it was, is that they honestly didn't know where she was at. And so the only thing, like the first thing that people think of when someone's not there is they went AWOL. Because that happens quite often. It's like, this dude got tired of the military.
He just left.
That's
or
happened before.
they're just
Like
missing, yeah.
kids go AWOL, and then all of a sudden, like that one time in Colorado, they found some dude working in a ranch somehow. Like he told somebody that he was in the military or something, and then like that somehow ended up everybody found out. But most of the time it's because people go AWOL because they're like, I'm tired of this crap.
Makes sense.
I'm
makes
leaving.
sense.
And so that's why
Especially with her.
their first
situation, I could
instinct
see
is
that.
never someone just got murdered. Their first instinct is like, this fool just left.
They
this
ran
was
away
deserter.
or,
yeah,
like,
or this
something like
girl's
that. Yeah,
deserter.
But I mean, like, say like if you left, wouldn't you go home? Right. So that was the thing. Like her mom called and was like, "Well, she's not here." It was like, and she would come home.
Or I don't know if
That
I
was
would
the case.
necessarily go home, but
You would let your mom know.
I
anyway,
would,
exactly.
right?
I was
If
gonna say I don't
if
know
I'm
if
going
I would
AWOL,
physically.
honestly though, I'm not gonna go home because I know
Yeah.
that's
No,
the
no,
first place
So
I
I'm
wouldn't
saying,
know if I
like,
would
you wouldn't call
physically-
your mom and be like, "Hey, make some story up why
Exactly.
you're not in the military."
So I was
no
gonna
more.
say I
That
wouldn't
would be-
physically go home, but I would at least contact my family members and let them know, like at least like on my part,
like, hey, I got
this
a
is
new
going
job.
on.
Yeah, they let me leave the military early.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because you know, especially
Yeah.
Mexican parents, they're not gonna be like, "Oh, are you sure?"
They're not gonna go check. Yeah. It's like, all right, that sounds good.
It wasn't
That's
until like
cool.
she wasn't calling home like she normally did. Where
yeah.
yeah.
Then they're like,
But
wait a
going-
minute.
Yeah, like now that you say it, like if AWOL is a common thing, then I could see that, especially because she had just been like sexually assaulted, so I could
Mhm.
see that.
Yeah, so
They
like,
probably did think,
especially
like-
when someone that's like, oh, she got tired of this,
Yeah,
and so she just left.
yeah,
Yeah.
Of course, you don't expect someone to like show up.
That's another thing.
I don't
like,
even know
think,
how they found. Or
I
where
think
they
if
found
like
her.
if like you're in the military and something like that happens, or like you get into, even if like some dude like beats you up, like
Yeah.
say like another soldier
Mhm.
beats you up, like the military should let you leave at that point. Like if you want to, like they should give you that option. Because I know you signed
it.
it.
You up.
Like okay, like how she got sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
Right? Like they should have given her the option. Like, hey, do you just want to your like bounce from your? Because you know when you go AWOL, that's like a you.
Honor-
Isn't that
discharge.
like isn't that like against the law actually?
Yeah,
You get
it's-
dishonorably discharged and all that.
You're supposed to, but depending on the circumstances, like if there's a war going on, typically they're a little bit more lenient. If they're like, if the dude comes back or like the girl comes back and then just goes back to her business, so what happens is like what should have happened on a sexual assault case is she should have either him or her should have been like
Transfer
moves to
Mhm.
another unit. Now that should have happened, but that doesn't happen all the time. Because of resources or lack of good leadership, whatever the case may be. So what should happen, like I said, is they should be able to like move somewhere else so that they feel better. So maybe not transfer a whole base, but at least transfer to like another unit.
Even probably transferring to a different base if. they
But
felt
that's
better doing
expensive.
Yeah, but still, if someone got raped or something like that, dude, like come on.
Yeah,
I think under those circumstances, I think something can be done there.
Well, no, and that's why I'm saying like a cheaper option would just be like, hey, Vanessa,
it's the military; they
do
could
you want
afford
to
it.
bounce?
Let's be honest.
Yeah,
they
it's
could
not
afford
like
it.
they're
If it- yeah.
They can't afford it on regular soldiers, like the real.
That's
Well,
true.
they can
people
afford
weren't
it.
getting raped in the military.
They
and
can
that's
afford
the
it on,
problem.
like,
When I tell people I'm like anti-military,
Special
they
forces.
automatically assume I'm anti-troops. It's like, dude, the troops like are the smallest percentage of the military budget. I'm anti giving Lockheed and Martin like $6 billion a year.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
that's-
anti.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I was like, dude, if you cut like half the military budget, you can pay for all the programs that we wish we had,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but they don't.
Mm-mm.
Because then that means you're anti-troops.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like whatever.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
cancel culture is real, dude. Like
Oh,
People
that's
are
picked up a lot.
people are so
Who got
like,
canceled now?
or not just specifically, but I'm saying in general, like if you think differently from somebody else, they're very quick to attack you, and that
Wrong
kind of goes
think.
into cancel culture as well too.
Mm.
Like piggybacking on what you just said.
Yeah. I mean, my thing wasn't. I can see that. Yeah. And it's like my funny thing with cancel culture, because it is a real thing, obviously, is that both like the Republicans will always say it's just the left, but Republicans do it just as
Mhm.
bad. Like if you're anti-cop, it's like they want you.
It's either all or nothing.
Yeah, it's like you
it's
can't have like
terrible.
of an opinion. It's like the funniest one is. Do you guys know who Tommy Lauren is? She's
Who?
a blonde. She's a blonde girl. She used to be on Fox. Tommy Lauren.
No.
She's like like a Republican pundit, so she's like super pro Trump and all that, right? So she almost got canceled by the right because she was pro choice, right? She was super Republican on everything except for that one thing, and then you know what she had to do? They made her star in a a pro-life film where she played a pro-life. She was someone who was about to get an abortion and then she didn't get an abortion because life is sacred type. You know, like the whole pro-life type stuff. But it's like that's what she had to do in order to not get canceled by the right.
Dang.
That's insane.
Yeah, and it's just like, dude, like, don't obviously I'm pro-life or whatever, but it's like if someone's not, it's like, all right, like that sucks for you, I guess. You know?
You know what sucks? We've talked about this off camera before. Grant Napier, the announcer for the Kings, or the ex-TV announcer for the Kings broadcaster,
got canceled though.
he got canceled and like he basically
Yeah.
stepped down / fired from
Yeah.
the Kings because of some tweets that weren't politically, I guess, correct, but not even.
No, they were pretty racist.
All he said was "All lives matter."
That wasn't racist.
No, that wasn't the. That was just like the cherry on top kind of thing because he
What-
had said
but what did he-
racist stuff before.
Like what?
Uh,
Well, people had assumed like other things that he had said in the past were racist, but that's just kind of how people took them.
yeah, but it's like if you're, it's like a racist grandpa is what Chris Webber had said about him. He was like everybody's racist. Like
I
he said
guess,
racist
not
stuff, but you
really.
just like, oh, all right, I guess.
I don't know.
That's what
anything
Chris
about
Webber
that
said.
guy.
I don't
Yeah.
know if that's true or not.
But
I
then
don't,
again,
like I said, I don't
that's-
follow basketball.
But that's just kind of how like they interpret it.
Oh, I don't. Well, yeah, I mean,
It's just-
like
So what's he doing now? Where's he at?
nothing.
I don't know. I don't think he's doing anything. Like no one's
Because they canceled his show too online, right, on air.
So okay, so he had a
Because he had a serious.
yeah, he had
show,
a
right?
no, he had a local like sports radio
Oh,
show,
was it?
right? But then he had been doing that for years, and he'd been the TV announcer for the Kings since 86, 87 or something like that. The Kings moved here in 85. So
Yeah.
for 2-3 like the first formative years, he wasn't the TV announcer.
Wait,
but
where
then
did
he
they
was.
move from again?
Kansas City, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, but that was back in '95. But
So
for
random.
like the entire time the Kings have been here, he's been like the voice and like the face of like the TV announcer for the Kings.
Were they still the Royals in Kansas City? Yeah, they became the
Yeah.
Kings when here, right?
I think they became the Kings when they were still
Oh,
in
still Kansas
Kansas,
City?
because
Oh.
they were the Royals in Rochester,
Oh yeah,
New
yeah,
York. Because before Kansas City, it was Rochester, New York, and those were the Rochester Royals back in the
Yeah.
70s, I think 60s.
how does that
Yeah.
work?
Only
Like,
time they
so
won a championship.
Yeah,
Are you is the NBA only allowed like a certain amount of
Teams.
teams?
Yes,
How many teams? 30?
there's like 30.
it's 32 in the NFL. I don't know. Like I don't
Yeah, 'cause
really
I think it's like
follow.
30
It's the same
then.
for the NFL, where it's like only
yeah,
32.
only
Only
32.
if- I think-
So the only way they can expand, because the problem is that like they'd have to do now in the NFL, they'd have to do 8 teams at once. They couldn't just do one team.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have to allow 8 teams so that
for the
every
bracket, right?
every division has one extra team. Because right now every
okay.
division has 4 teams, so they would, and there's 8 divisions and all. So they would have to allow 8 teams, and they couldn't just do one. It's like that's the thing with the MLS. The MLS is divided by two divisions, so they need it's East and West.
East and West. Yeah.
So they would need 2 divisions. They need 2 teams. So like Sacramento's not the only team that's getting, because we got approved for the MLS team.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we're not the only team that's getting the MLS. We're just the West, the division in the West that got approved.
I think the other one is Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Orlando also got a team.
But I think
okay.
like to get an expansion team, like just in like the league in general, all the owners also have to agree
On it. Yeah.
So like, all
But so the
of all
owners
the
aren't
individual
the
teams
owners
that-
aren't gonna be like, well, let's just have one team. They would want one team for every division because
yeah.
it makes the division more money.
Yeah.
And they would also probably
Yeah.
stipulate that there has to be one extra week in the season so they can get more money that way.
Yeah.
But
But anyway,
I don't think they'd ever do that, just because it's. I think the whole
It's not-
scarcity
Oh,
gives
yeah,
it
right.
more of
Yeah.
a high value.
Not just that, but I don't think there's 8 cities big enough to hold a
To
team,
hold a team,
where there
yeah.
would be value.
Yeah. That's
Like
Because
I
the
could
city
see,
has to cough up money too.
yeah,
right?
I can
Yeah.
see, and like so that's you need 8 cities that are willing to cough up money. There is still like some cities, but I don't think there's 8. At least NFL wise, like basketball, it would only be what, like you only need 2 teams, right? Because it's just East and West.
yeah.
Or is there like
Yeah. It's still just East and West.
yeah?
Oh, okay.
So you would only need 2 teams, so that's a little bit more possible. Same thing like with hockey. Football is the only one that's like it's 4 divisions because there's 2 divisions, but then there's like 4 mini divisions within
Yeah.
those divisions.
Yeah.
Okay, finish your thought. My bad. I just
Yeah.
it was interesting to hear the history of the Kings from way
Like
back.
the
I didn't
East
even know
Coast,
you
like,
knew
all the
that
way-
far
So, yeah,
back.
it's-
Dang,
Yeah.
dude.
It's easier to.
I'm a fan.
It's easier to like have a team move like the Chargers
Yeah.
did to LA
Mhm.
than to yeah. But it's just like like I understand why teams move, and some people are like, "Oh, it's because the owners are greedy because they don't want to pay for the stadium themselves." But it's like, dude,
yes,
these teams make so much revenue for that city that's like, and they offer so much jobs. It's like they want a little help. It's just like that's how the Kings stayed, was because we promised them to build the arena downtown,
we did.
and we did.
So the arena is owned by who then? The city?
No, it's owned by
owned by a bunch of different people. So it's
Because
minority.
like Golden One, obviously too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So
well, no,
I mean,
they just pay for the rights. So they
Yeah.
actually put money in it, so the rights to name it Golden One. It's basically a giant
Oh.
advertisement.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
And that's basically contracted for X amount of years.
Yeah, so
however
they'll
long
change the stadium name whenever that contract, if they
Yeah.
don't pony up more cash.
The old arena in Atomas,
Yeah.
for when
was
we were
Arco
growing up, was
Arena.
Arco
And
Arena.
people still call it Arco Arena. Like that's how you can tell if someone's from Sacramento, is if they
Yeah,
still call it
call it
Arco
Arco.
Arena.
Yeah. So when that stadium opened, or when the arena opened up, it was Arco Arena. But then the naming rights expired in like early 2000s, like 2008, 2009 or something.
Yeah.
Then it became like just a punch.
Like there's
a bunch
giant,
of different
there's
names.
a giant field across the street from Arco. Like right now, they're building houses on it, but there's actually an underground tunnel from Arco to that field, because that field was supposed to be a football field because the Raiders were
Oh
supposed
yeah,
to
that's
come
what
here.
I think
told
they
me. I
were gonna-
remember that.
I think it was supposed to be a baseball field.
No, it was
So what the Coliseum in
Yeah,
Oakland is
yeah,
going to
yeah.
be was supposed to be that.
that,
It was
yeah.
supposed to house like a MLB team, but then also the allure was to get the Raiders.
Raiders. Yeah.
And then it just didn't come up.
No, I think
No,
Al Davis
Al
used
Davis
this.
used us to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
more money from Oakland.
It was basically like a ploy as like
Oh,
a flex
Yeah,
move.
he
Like, okay,
wanted to
well,
go to Oakland.
Yeah.
Because at the time Oakland was more lucrative.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, but Sacramento's
If you
doing a
don't-
really good offer."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was
Oh,
another
gotcha.
thing. Like when the Raiders left, like
That's
Silos
crazy.
was all mad that the Raiders were leaving or something.
Yeah.
But it's just like, dude, they've been sharing the stadium with the Oakland A's for years.
Oh, they didn't even have
They
their
didn't even have their
uh,
own stadium. So it's just like, of course, and
It's
they have been
time, dude.
asking
It's
for
time to get
years for
their
a
own.
stadium. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is.
So when
like
Vegas
a-
said we'll pay 90% of the stadium, of course the Raiders would be like, well, all right, we're going to Vegas.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the turf for baseball and football, it feels different for the players.
Yeah.
And because like so what'll happen is that baseball season goes into football season normally, right? Like on a not 2020 year. So they would have to play like, because you have like the baseball diamond and it has like dirt
Yeah.
like around like the baseball diamond.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so the NFL players were playing like half grass, half dirt in Oakland.
Yeah.
And
What?
so- and
Wait,
it-
so how is this? I didn't even know the stadium was. How did they even do that? How did they manage to?
It's weird. The Oakland Coliseum is like a weirdly built stadium for
Yeah?
that reason.
So it's like it has like the diamond on one side and then like half of the football.
No, so the diamond's
field.
actually in
Yeah.
the half, like in the
middle?
in the middle of the football field. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like on both sides, when you're playing when they're playing baseball, they have
Yeah.
open fields, which isn't really common. So that, and they would sell like cheap seats to the Oakland A's games, which is you just got a blanket and you sat on the field,
Yeah.
but you're
So-
sitting on the football field.
So you've never been to the Oakland Coliseum before, right?
No,
So I've
no,
gone
no.
for Raider games when like the Chargers have played here. So the way it works is that
Yeah.
on a football field, it's like rectangularly shaped,
Yeah.
and so the baseball diamond, like he said, it's like in the middle, like on the side, so facing on the side of the rectangle, I guess you can say. Yeah. So this picture, if you pull it up.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not
That's not it.
the Coliseum, or is it?
Is it this?
Yeah. Okay. See, so the baseball diamond would be right here.
Right here. Yeah.
Yeah, you see that? And so they closed this section of the stadium off to make it more of like a circular to like
That's so
accommodate the
weird,
rectangle
dude. What the heck?
for the football day, yeah.
That's weird.
But then there's like, you don't see it in this picture, but there's other games where like this is right here, like this
Yeah.
dirt for the baseball diamond, that's on like the football field right here.
But let's be honest, like football teams aren't the only ones that do these like tax breaks where the city pays for most of it. It's like when
Yeah.
Amazon built their warehouse out here
They
in
had the
Sac,
city
they had the city
Yeah.
pay for a big chunk of it.
because of the jobs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why the city will. Like, they'll pony up the cash one time up front and then be like, oh, well, you're going to sustain like 1,500 jobs for like 20 years, so it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
But people don't see that. People only see the big expenditure at the beginning.
Yeah, they're like, we're spending so much money and blah blah blah, but it's like, dude, there's more jobs.
But anyways, going back to Grant Napier,
Yeah.
just to tie that off, because all I was just gonna say is that, like when the whole Black Lives Matter movement came out, he had put out a post saying all lives matter.
They happened this
Because-
year, right?
Yeah. That happened a couple of months
Everything
ago.
happened this year.
Everything happened this year.
Well, Black Lives Matter.
And so it was DeMarcus. Yeah, it was DeMarcus Cousins that baited him on Twitter basically to try to get him to say something offensive, and then a bunch of people and it worked basically because
like I said,
it's racist to say all lives matter, even though they do. But I understand the point of the whole Black Lives Matter, where it's like, well, at the time,
I think the
it
point
doesn't seem
that
like
they're
it.
saying is it's racist to say all lives matter when you're doing it to counter the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. So that's how everyone took it, and yeah, I guess.
But what if you do it?
DeMarcus Cousins only said it because, like I said, like
he knew
from what I read about that situation was that the Kings players have always Grant Napier was the racist uncle of the family, kind of situation.
Yeah.
So DeMarcus Cousins had said in an interview that like he knew he wouldn't get it because it wasn't even like a big bait. Like it wasn't. It was just like he asked, "What do you think about this?" And then that's when he wrote, "All lives matter."
Yeah, he asked him. He's like, "Well, so what do you think about Black Lives Matter?" That's all the tweet said.
And that's not
but
really it's not really like a big bait. He was baiting him because he knew what he was gonna say.
But like it
wasn't like a bait where like he tried to trick him or anything. It was just like, look, this dude's a racist. Watch, bam.
Yeah.
But like I think
getting canceled like completely.
Yeah.
For
So the
that,
key, what he
tweet?
said.
I mean, if it's just
like 2 days after it became a big thing, he publicly said he was going to step down from being the Kings announcer, and then he also stepped away from his.
You see this happen with police officers a lot. So when they step
with
down,
everybody and like in the military, same thing is like, oh, I'm moving jobs. It's like, dude, you just got fired.
Or like you'll see this a lot when people like resign or they step down,
yeah.
it's so that they can keep their benefits because they don't want to get fired.
Which is pretty crazy that like people that do like crazy crimes, they're given the option to step down instead of getting fired, and still take like a bonus and everything else.
And that's what like a lot of problems like people have with cops, because the whole situation with them isn't that they think all cops are bad. The problem is that unions allow this to happen, because you see this all the time. Cops have and the thing is they have their own private unions, so they don't work like other unions. That's what people forget. And so like you'll see this all the time with what's called gypsy cops, which is if you have a cop that moved from one city to another city, that cop usually did something bad. He had to resign from that police department to join another police department. And they're called gypsy cops because they constantly do bad stuff where they almost get fired, and they just give them the option to resign. So then when they move to somewhere else, they can because the unions will protect them, and they'll be like, well, this guy's going to apply for this, but you can't ask him why he's left the other police department. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, there's
sketch.
That's kind of like
shady,
the military.
Sus.
Where there's like I can't remember. It's like it's kind of like how you hear it on the court things where it's like a closed case or something.
Yeah,
you know they did something, but you don't know what.
You
can't find out
that
what.
Sucks.
But I think it depends on like if it's something that's not super crazy, then it kind of gives you a chance to like start fresh. But if you're just crazy from the get go and all the time, then yeah, you should.
But what's not super crazy or
that gets you kicked out?
That doesn't get you kicked out. It just gets you moved.
Like stealing. Like some dude in the military. Remember, he got in trouble for like some kind of Ponzi scheme type of thing.
Well, why wouldn't that get you kicked out? Yeah, like if you're scamming other people in the military.
Which was kind of crazy. I forget the whole details on it.
I get the whole like this is what I hate blue collar crime, and then that's what they call it, like where it's like scams and stuff like that, or people who are laundering money, or people who are like stealing from like banks but not like actually bank robbing, like they'll steal it some other way, like electronically or whatever. Like that's called blue collar crimes, and they're always like, oh, there's no victims, but it's like, dude, that's somebody's money.
Yeah, any money is someone's.
It's like money. Like in 2008 when the whole Bernie Madoff situation happened, like where they caught him because he was like, all these people had to like put their like insurance or like their retirement plans, and it turned out that he had no money in those retirement plans.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was 2008. It's what caused like the big Wall Street crash in 2008 in the recession. Oh. Yeah, turns out that we thought we had all this money, and it turns out like only like. It was like Enron and all those companies. Yeah. Like all those investment companies. Turned out they had no money anywhere. They were spending all that money on like parties and stuff like that.
Dang.
Yeah.
Great.
So like I knew people who lost their entire like savings,
Yeah.
From that. And it's just like that's not a victimless crime. Like there's obviously victims. That's also why like you would see a lot of old people be Walmart greeters and stuff like that because they had to go back to work because they didn't have no more savings.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just
I
like,
remember, dude. 2008 was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
In terms of like financial.
yeah, dude.
just
I remember I
finance
was
That's the
in
with,
reason. That's the
general, yeah.
reason why I re-signed up in the military. Actually,
I remember like I was with my cousin Renee, and his bank at the time was Washington Mutual, right? And it was a
Renee's
Monday.
your cousin?
Right? Yeah, Renee.
Mm-hmm.
I was with him. I remember what we were doing, and then he gets a call from like one of his buddies. Is like, "Hey, who works at Washington Mutual?" Is like, "Hey, go take all your cash out." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Just go take everything out." So we went and we took everything out, and at that time there was already a line of people there, and more people started showing up. The next day, Washington Mutual closed, and if you had money there, you weren't getting it.
What?
Damn.
Yeah, because Washington Mutual was one of the banks that closed during the recession at that time. It was just like that. It's like, how can you have like your life savings in that bank
That's
and
true.
not
That
get
used to
anything
be a
out?
bank.
Yeah, it's like there was
God,
other
that's
banks like that.
Wamu.
Yeah, and it's just like, dude, it's like, where's the? And they bailed all
Yeah.
those banks out,
Mm-hmm.
but none of those people saw crime. Or it's like when people say like, oh, racism doesn't exist, but it's like, so there was a document, and I only know this because I watched the documentary
What
on
do you
it.
mean all racism?
Like, no, you know, like they'll say like systemic racism doesn't exist, but systemic racism it just means that like it does. People like to think like it means the president or like the government's racist.
No.
That just means people in high positions of power will make laws that are kind of racist. So like there was a bank that they released that they released a statement in 2008 when they were doing these like the Ponzi scheme with the houses. I forget what it's called, something variable mortgage. Where like, so basically what it was is like they'd go and they'd be like, hey, you want this, like we'll refinance your house and give you a lower payment. But what they wouldn't tell people when they never put like the fine print or anything like that was that after 6 months your rate would go up, it'd jump up, so your payment would go way higher. Then after 6 months it would jump up again and jump up again, right? So there was a bank that sent a memo that specifically told their people to target what they called mud people, and they said this in the mud people. It was black people over the age of 55. They called them mud people. You know what bank that is? And that bank got bailed out. You know what bank that is?
Chase.
No, Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me.
And Wells Fargo just got in trouble like a year ago for doing the same thing where they purposely wouldn't hire black people. And there was a memo saying, hey, like for these types of positions, don't hire black people. Like they legit said that. It's like, yeah, I understand why they protest, why black people protest. Cause it's like, yeah, dude, that is kind of unfair.
Kinda.
I don't know, but so
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that's super unfair.
Yeah,
But it's
what
just
the
like,
heck?
and then when people are complaining that they're like protesting, it's just like,
I
get it.
I think there's, I don't know if it's, so there is people that are racist, but there's people that are racist to every race.
Yeah.
To every, cause
Mhm.
like, dude, I've
Like KKK
I've-
members.
in Louisiana, I've seen broke black people, I've seen broke white people, and I've seen like all colors of the spectrum, like being broke or like being like oppressed or like they can't get a job or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I think that I think when it talks about like systemic racism, like for me, I think that it's like racism towards like everybody, because
no, yeah.
it's because
But-
like even white people have a hard time sometimes trying to get a job.
So Fred
Like-
Hampton, he was a Black Panther from like the 60s. He said it best where because he started what's called the Rainbow Coalition, which is where he got a lot of people who were like from like the black communities, a lot of people from the white community, a lot of people from the Hispanic community to see how they can like do better for their communities. It was like the poor black community, the poor white community, and the poor
Yeah.
Hispanic. So, and he said it best, like he was like where he's like when they asked him like, oh, you're a Black Panther, that means like you're racist because you only care about black people. He was like, no, I only understand black people. Like I don't know where like how to approach a situation that Hispanic people will face or how to approach a situation that white people face because I'm not Hispanic or white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like the whole when people counter protest the all Black Lives Matter with All Lives Matter, it's the problem is that black people aren't all lives, they're just black people. So of
Yeah.
course they're gonna march for themselves, you know, because that's what it is, or for their family.
Yeah, but it's I don't know, but it still would not sound right if white people would say white lives matter.
No,
That
Yeah,
would not
but-
they
sound
can't
right.
say
A
that.
problem with that
What-
is
and
more.
and it's marginalized
historic-
white people where they're like in the rural areas where they have like crappy internet and like.
Mhm.
So what I'm saying is like, I understand the saying of Black Lives Matter, but at the same time, it's like I don't think we've ever said Mexican Lives Matter. or white people have said white lives matter, or they do at like rallies, maybe at like clans.
No, they say
Klansmen.
white pride.
Yeah.
White
So,
pride,
but the
yeah.
thing is, like, it wouldn't sound right if a white person was like white lives matter. That sounds racist, even though it's not, because he only knows white people.
Yeah.
So I see the point. Where were we getting with this?
I don't know where you're going with this.
I
I
don't
knew
know
where
where
I
we're
was
going.
going with
Where are
it.
you going?
That's
Well,
why
we're
I'm
talking
just
about
sitting here.
We're talking
I'm
about
like, where-
Jack Napier, or what's his name?
Grant Napier.
Grant
Grant.
Napier.
Oh, that's where we went. Yeah, we
And
started
that's
with.
what and like it went off like why saying something like all lives matter is racist to
Yeah.
because Abraham said he didn't think it was, and it's true. Like I
the
there's a
statement
lot of
itself, I
people-
don't think, but maybe the reaction was probably not right.
I think
'Cause
a lot of-
he did it
So
on
my
purpose.
thing with that is like, I've had this situation with a lot of people where it's like, dude, a lot of things could have gone way better if you just learned how to read the room.
Yeah.
Where it's just like if tensions are high, just don't say anything.
Hmm.
But once again, Grant Napier, it's like a lot of old people are just old, like they don't know how to read a room anymore.
Read
Yeah.
the room.
I've heard people say, like, I've even heard like black people say, of course, all lives matter. Like, I mean, who doesn't agree with that? But the thing is, they're saying like on our behalf, we feel that that's not correct because if all lives matter, then we wouldn't be, being killed on the
Yeah.
streets unjustly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was saying you can't support saying all lives matter when we're not showing it, which is true.
Yeah.
Which is really true. But I think Grant Napier saying all lives matter when everything was like popping off was like not the right thing to say.
Right. And that,
But
that,
even-
that was like
but
don't
even-
get me wrong, I don't think he should have gotten fired either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's like, dude, if you can't read the room, you can't read the room,
Yeah.
man.
But then you see the other side of that spectrum. Well, he didn't technically say anything that was wrong because yes, you would want to think that all lives matter, but him saying that in the moment just it wasn't the right thing to say.
Yeah. No, and
So-
so going off on cancel culture, who else got canceled this year?
Ellen.
She's getting canceled, which is like
No, I
easy.
thought she's coming back. No.
I think
No,
she's
they
coming back
they
now.
tried. She did a show and it got like the lowest ratings ever. It got super low ratings.
Just because she was being mean, right?
Yeah, but it turns out she was like actually like doing like real like harassment type power, like abusing her power on her interns and her assistants and stuff.
It's funny because the celebrities were like supporting her, and then someone made the comment like, "Of course, the celebrities are only got positive experience because like
They're celebrities.
they're celebrities.
Yeah.
That's who she's dealing." But like people below her
Yeah.
are in charge. She's in charge.
So
of.
this brings up like what happened with Kim Kardashian like
With what?
2 weeks ago. So what she did a post where like, and it was a picture where she rented out a private island for like a month, and she invited like her inner circle, she said, so that they can live life like it was normal again.
Illuminati people.
Wow, that's what everyone's saying. But then some guy was like, "This is why I believe in taxing the rich." It's like, dude, like we're all trying to live normally. It's like, and it sucks. It's like instead of like helping people like that need help, you're renting an island so you can feel normal again. It's like you
that's
already
kinda
see,
weird.
yeah, you obviously feel pretty normal in that $8 billion house you have. It's like, but it's just like, and it was just like, so they tried canceling her. I don't know if they did or didn't. I haven't heard anything.
If you want to feel normal though, just go to that ranch that you and Kanye have, and like
Yeah,
where?
in Utah
In
or
Utah or like somewhere like the
Live off
Midwest.
the
They have
land.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, go to one of your 8 houses you have around the world. It's just like, so it's like,
But
it's
it's,
like
not.
she's
It's
al-
not possible for them to be.
that
living
was the
normal
whole
at all.
situation. It's like,
it's-
dude, you're not living normally. Like, this isn't normal.
Yeah,
like,
you've gone celebrity style. Like anywhere you go, you're gonna get
yeah,
like
that was
mobbed.
the point that we're trying to make. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, like, and it's
That's
just
not
like,
gonna happen.
yeah, it's like this is stupid.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, 2020.
that's why I'm glad we're not famous.
What a whirlwind of fun
Sure.
2020
We don't-
is, man.
We don't have to worry about that. But imagine like you'd have to worry about that all the time. You can't go anywhere without. Hey, can I get a picture? Hey, what if?
You can't pump your own gas.
Nah.
You can't go to the grocery store. You can't go to like a ride.
Like look at Macaulay Culkin, dude. That fool went crazy
Yeah,
He's
all that.
because he didn't
He's
know
not
normal.
normal. He's normal now.
now.
Little
It's
bit.
still
Have
a
you
little
seen
weird,
his? Yeah, have you seen?
But I
his
think more
YouTube
it's just because
videos or
he's like a
something?
weird white kid, and he's always been a weird white kid, then because of like the celebrity stuff.
I never knew if it was true that, but
He's
it's
like a
something that I
hipster
heard.
white
Didn't he
kid.
like
It's like
divorce his parents or something like that?
No, so he's separated from his
Separated,
parents, because they were stealing all his money.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, so he did that.
I only
thing
heard
where,
that he separated from his
emancipation.
Yeah.
Yeah, like where you emancipate yourself.
Yeah.
You just have to prove to the court you can take care of yourself. And he did it at like 14. He's like, yeah, I can take care of myself. I'm rich.
Rich.
It's
I'm
like,
Macaulay Culkin.
yeah. And so like the court was like, all right, emancipated.
He hadn't done anything after, huh? I think he kind of
he
went.
does like little stuff. His brother is more of a bigger actor than he is now.
He has a brother.
Yeah,
Mhm.
looks kind of like him. He's always like a side character in movies. Very famous. He's the gay roommate in Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's his brother. That's his
That's
little
funny.
brother.
Yeah, I know. Like in the past
He
couple of
does
years, he's
behind
kind
the
of.
scenes stuff, I guess. is
Yeah.
which a lot of
And he has
child
a
actors
YouTube
always
channel,
do.
doesn't
Yeah,
he?
a lot of child actors always end up doing behind the scene kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. Interesting.
But
Kieran
yeah,
Culkin. Oh, he has
he has a
a
couple.
few brothers.
Yeah, but there's one of
Rory.
them that's like really like popular.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, I was mentioning what a year 2020 has been. I pulled up a calendar of all the events of 2020 up to this point.
Yeah.
You guys want to go through it?
What is it?
Yeah.
All right, we'll start in January. January 2nd. And there's like a bunch of stuff on this calendar, but I'll just go through like the
big
most
ones.
notable ones, yeah.
Yeah.
January 2nd, Australia was on fire.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Dude, I forgot that was this year.
The whole freaking
Yeah.
continent.
We almost went to war with Iran.
Yep.
Remember we were talking about the draft?
Yeah.
President Trump
Getting
was
ready.
leading the U.S. into a third world war, January 3rd.
I like how people forgot about that too. Like
Oh, the
Iran.
memes were amazing.
I know everyone was
remember.
getting ready.
the Call of Duty memes. There was a bunch of Call of Duty memes at the
Yeah.
time.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stepped down from the royal duties.
Oh, from the royal family.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
And this is like the first week
And
of
people
January.
were all pissed.
Yeah.
Taxpayers and British were all pissed because they were still getting like the British Secret Service.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, they're not even British anymore. They moved to Canada. Like, what the hell are we protecting them? Still?
And everyone was all blaming Meghan for it. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
the only thing that's changed is
the reasoning what I heard, the reasoning was because it's like an insurance policy for the British royalty, because if he got captured or whatever, then they would like reveal all the secrets of like the British family and like all that other stuff.
like all the
So that's
child
it was like
sex
an
slaves
interest
they
for
have.
it wasn't even to protect them, but it was to protect their own
their
like
own interest. Yeah,
The
own
underground
interest.
cult that they have over there.
but I mean, as a taxpayer,
but yeah, that
'cause
sucks.
they
as a
don't
tax-
do anything.
Nothing.
Really.
Right. January
besides
January
take
16th.
rights and
Hold on.
waves.
Yeah.
January 16th, the official impeachment trial of President Trump began.
That was this year? I thought
Yeah.
that was like 2 years ago. Dang.
Nah.
Wow.
January 26th.
Kobe Bryant died.
Kobe.
That was
Kobe
in
Bryant,
January.
yeah.
That was
That was in-
pre-COVID.
Dude.
COVID, bro.
Every January was a terrible month.
It started off rough. Yeah.
This year's been a terrible year.
Yeah.
Notably,
And then it
to
just went
January
worse.
3rd, my dog Rocky died.
Oh yeah.
Nah.
So it was a really rough one for
Rip
me.
Rocky.
February 4th, the results of the Iowa caucus were delayed due to quality control, and the entire thing was a hot mess, and there was like a lot of like chaos and fighting around that. Let's see. I'm trying to go through like actual.
The Boy Scouts of
Newsworthy stuff.
America filed bankruptcy.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
that.
What the heck?
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, because I remember thinking I wanted to buy the Boy Scout camp
Yeah.
if I had the money and make it into like a movie studio. That's what I would do with it. But I don't have the money, obviously. So. No,
February.
because
That
it's
would
like,
be
it's like a
cool.
camp in the middle of a forest in the middle of Sacramento.
Yeah.
Where?
It's like right off of Richards Boulevard in
Mhm.
downtown, like right before you hit downtown.
Yeah.
There's like a little forest area, and there's like a couple cabins in the Boy Scouts of America to meet up. So I
That's
was like,
crazy.
I wanted to
In the
buy that and
woods.
just make like horror
the
movies in the
s-
woods. Yeah, it's
In
like
the city.
make like low budget horror movies.
Make your
there.
own Blair Witch and get rich.
No, make like
Because that one was low
make
budget.
like a Sleepaway Camp remake. That was low
That'd be
budget.
good.
You ever
Let's
see
see.
Sleepaway Camp?
No.
It was infamous for having the scene where sorry, Ram.
Go
It
ahead.
was infamous for having the scene where it was this little girl who was murdering people, but it turned out it wasn't even a girl, it was a boy. It was like the
Mhm.
first trans character in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
What
That's
the
really
heck?
Yeah.
February 24th, former movie producer
Good movie,
Harvey,
though.
Harvey
Very cheap,
Weinstein was found guilty. That was February 24th. He was officially found guilty. March 11th, Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson were the first people diagnosed with COVID that were like major
March.
celebrities.
Yeah.
And then
Everyone's
everyone-
like,
at-
no,
It was
not
funny
Hanks.
at that point. People still thought it was like a joke or like
until he got it. Yeah.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe we
They're
should
like
do this.
cast away.
Woody, no.
Fool lives in Greece, I think now.
Mm-hmm. March 11th, the NBA officially canceled the rest of the season due to COVID. And then from there, it was just all downhill. March 20th, we got Tiger King.
That was a good.
Yeah.
We got it during the COVID.
Yeah, it was like right.
What?
at the beginning of COVID.
March 24th, the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo were canceled. April 8th.
Oh, there were supposed to be Olympics.
This is an Olympic year, dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dang.
the Tokyo, right? The Tokyo
Yeah, it
Games?
got canceled.
That's crazy.
Bernie Sanders dropped out of the race in April 8th.
Eh.
Yeah. Let's see. South Korea told the media that Kim Jong-un was alive and well.
Oh, when he
even
was
though
supposed
there
to
was
be
a
dead.
massive
Yeah.
speculation that the dictator had died. That was April 27th.
Somehow I started watching a bunch of YouTube videos on like North Korea.
And they were saying
Pretty
that
weird,
his
super
that his
weird
sister
over
was
there.
supposed to take control, and that his sister was like worse than him.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Yeah.
Everyone's
more-
like, who would be next in line?
2 days later, April 29th, the Pentagon released videos of possible UFOs officially coming from the Pentagon.
From the Navy, right? Yeah.
Dude, did you see what Joe Jurgensen said? Joe Jurgensen is the Libertarian presidential candidate. She's a girl.
Mm-mm.
You know who the Libertarian Party is, right?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like,
Liberals.
yeah. No, they're like,
Libertarian. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
They're
yeah.
like they're the people who's like you reap what you sow. Like everyone just mind your own business.
Mhm.
That's their party. But so her and her vice president were like, dude, day one if we get elected, we dropping all of UFO files onto the internet. Yeah, he wrote
be
that
awesome.
and then she like retweeted with it was a meme, it was a lie detector. She's like, no lie detected. Like saying, yeah, we'll
Nah,
drop
yeah,
all
we
those
do it.
information. Classified, no
Dude.
more. 'Cause that's one of the things the Libertarian Party runs on. Is like they want to declassify everything. It's like, hey, everything. If you're paying for it with your taxpaying dollars, you should know what you're doing.
They got my vote.
Yeah, it's like dude, that's usually who I voted for last time was Gary Johnson, the Libertarian.
Joe
candidate.
Jurgensen.
May
Yeah.
25th, George Floyd happened on May 25th.
That's so sad, man.
I know.
May 25th.
Yeah.
He's out on bond. He just got out, like the cop,
Oh yeah, did he?
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Let's see.
People in Minnesota are all. He's not supposed to leave the state, but I think they ended up giving him permission to leave the state because of, I'm pretty sure people saw him on the street, they'd kill him.
Kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, that's it?
That's as far as
That
that
was May.
goes. But I mean,
And then California went on fire.
California went on fire.
That was
Riots,
crazy.
looting. What else?
There's
dude?
that plot to kill the Michigan governor. You guys hear about that?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
That's
I heard about that.
insane. Like, dude, like, that's bat crazy.
I know, there was a Max.
You guys hear about the whole Biden bus? It happened Friday.
That
There was
he
a
got
Biden-
surrounded and he
Yeah,
canceled
in,
it.
in Texas, he was driving down the highway. He wasn't on the bus. It was just like people that worked for him because he was flying on the plane.
Mm.
But they were going to Texas, and so they like got surrounded by a bunch of Trump supporters, and then they tried to run them off the road. And then Trump retweets a picture of it saying, "I love Texas." It's like, dude, that's terrible. It's like,
Did they try to run them off the road? I thought they just surrounded them.
no,
I don't
like
know.
so
I don't
like
know
they
what
showed
the-
pictures where it was like the cars that had swiped the bus, like, and they had all the dents on. It's like,
Wow.
yeah, white people are crazy, man.
Yeah, they are.
All people are crazy.
No, white people are crazy.
All
no,
people
no, no,
are
no,
crazy.
no. There is.
All people are
I've seen
crazy.
all people. Mexicans are crazy, dude.
I know.
Mexicans are really crazy.
Every
Every
man,
race
it's been
has
a
its
crazy
bad
year,
apples.
dude.
Yeah.
I wonder what it'll be like in 2020. What are we in 20 right now? Yeah, 21.
Do you guys think
Think it'll get better?
Do you guys think we'll ever go back to what we considered normal before, or
No.
is there just going to be a new normal?
I think
now?
masks are gonna be more
Like
more
mandatory.
normalized. Yeah. And I think the reason is because we don't know what's out there. We don't know what's being made in a lab. Because I said,
yeah, logically speaking, this probably won't be over until like another 2 years. Like,
yeah, like we go back to like 100% normal. Probably
Yeah.
like a good.
It
year,
sucks to
year
say.
and a half.
Like, I don't think it'll be normal until like everyone gets it.
because think about it. Let's just say, for
'Cause-
example, okay, so we're doing this at the
Like,
end of
everyone's
2020 right
going
now, right?
down, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing this at the end of 2020 right now. Let's say by end of summer next year, they have like the first trials of vaccines. Are you gonna be the first in line to take it?
I would.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on what phase they are. Because I think they're in the...
That's
So
YouTube.
supposedly we're supposed to get it like the end of November, a vaccine.
Yeah, no.
Then...
Isn't it crazy how people are saying it depends how the election goes? Like, so
which
depending.
is another thing I think
Well,
people
everyone
are crazy
politicizes
about
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's like
everything gets politicized.
because I was talking to Joe, you know, my cousin Joe.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him, and he's one of those people where it's like, oh, it's only gonna after the election, COVID's not gonna exist. It's like, really? My grandpa in Mexico died for the
Died,
United
yeah.
States election.
Yeah, that's...
Like,
doesn't
get over
make
yourselves,
sense.
people.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, like half the world, like, you know, it's like it's 200,000 people here, but it's
Yeah.
like what, like almost 1 million people worldwide that have died
200 million or 200,000 that have died. Yeah, I thought you
here
meant
in the
like population.
states,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just
yeah.
here in the
Yeah.
states. But it's like a million or a million plus have died because of the U.S. elections. Like, get over yourselves.
It's insane how
Yeah,
people.
I
think
would
that.
totally get the vaccine. I think.
But the first trials, though,
I mean,
I don't know.
I would kind of want to see how.
I'd
people-
wait it
I
out.
would
Dude,
want to see.
we signed up to go get the flu vaccine
Oh,
that
yeah.
one time in the lab.
That's
We
crazy,
didn't sign
dude.
up for it, but we.
I did.
We
sign
did
up.
fucking
I
sign
know
up.
we did.
We
You
signed up for it.
didn't.
Yeah, you chickened out.
You chickened out.
I mean, you know, Swiss
yeah, we actually signed up. We
You
never
guys
got
never
called
went,
back.
yeah.
We didn't get called back. They didn't pick
Dude,
us.
2 weeks paid vacation.
Yeah, dude. And then you'd get paid. How much was it? $3,000
It's
or
$3,000,
Yeah,
and we did the math, and you only need like $500, really, because like, it was
Yeah.
just the flight there,
Yeah.
because they were gonna house you at the lab.
When was that? When did we do that?
That was like
Last-
the beginning of this.
beginning of this
yeah.
year?
When did we
No.
start this podcast? The beginning of this year.
It was last year when you guys were planning to do all that.
towards the end of last year, before the flu season, right, or
Mhm.
something like that.
Oh,
And that's why
maybe.
they something like that. We just
Yeah.
never got called back. That
Mhm.
sucks.
Yeah.
They did have trials for the one that's going on right now.
COVID, the vaccine.
But I mean, a lot of people are gonna be very like they're just not gonna want to be like the first to take like that first like wave of flu.
Oh,
or,
yeah.
like, shots.
I mean,
for
there's
COVID.
people who
kinda
don't.
sketchy.
There's people who are anti-vaxxers, which are
Yeah.
the craziest people to me. It's like, dude, like
Yeah, I need
Mexicans they get their vaccines when they're like born. You have the shot mark, right?
on your arm.
It's like gone away, and it's
Yeah, right.
kind
you
of
wet back.
weak.
You wet back.
The Hecho in Mexico
Hecho in Mexico.
stamp.
See, totally. Mexicans could be racist too.
Oh yeah,
Would just prove my point.
Mexican.
Was anti my kind.
My kind.
Yeah, dude, but like I
Anti-vax.
said, thinking
All
lo-
Mexicans' lives matter.
I'm thinking logically, all of this isn't gonna be over for any time soon.
Oh no, I think
It's-
even after the vaccine, you're still gonna get a lot of people who don't trust the vaccine.
Yeah.
Case in point, you. But
I don't know if I'm eventually gonna trust it. Yes, but I just don't know if I'm gonna be.
I'll
the first
I'll be
in
the
line.
first in line. I wouldn't mind.
If I got paid, I would
We gotta pay you now.
to try it. Yeah.
If you had a job, you would be getting
Get
paid.
Yeah.
Oh, you do have a job
I
now.
do
He
have
has a
a-
job
I
now.
Let's
have
be
a-
honest, he hasn't gotten paid, so it's
Oh
not
yeah,
a real
we're still
job.
waiting on the paycheck.
You said what? Once a month?
Yeah.
It should be
it's a
Monday then,
monthly-
right?
Monday.
Tomorrow,
Monday.
right?
Yeah.
Because you,
It
Fire
drops.
wings on this guy.
Fire wings.
Yeah.
dude, all the times I've bought you food.
I don't remember. I thought you did that out of the kindness of your
Hey,
heart.
my sister's in Woodland. She said she could bring us the food, or did you guys want to go there?
I'm down to
Either
go. Or I don't, it's up to you guys.
I'm down either way.
I'm down either or.
It's up to you.
We can take the trip.
You want to take the trip? All right, I'll tell her.
We could take the train.
The expensive train.
The experience.
Dude, like I was
Sure.
looking at the bullet train proposition they had, the new one for California, and it's like it
The
seems
Elon
legit.
Musk one or the
Oh,
which
God.
one?
I don't know what it's called. I was just looking at it the other day, but it looked legit. Like I like it was like the where it didn't have like it didn't stop like at every city. It was
Yeah.
only like certain major stops.
Hmm.
It was for the United States. It wasn't for California. Only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's gonna be super expensive.
Yeah.
yeah. But it's like, dude, I'd do it. You could raise my taxes.
For a train?
Yeah, why not?
But the way you think of a train now is going to be different. Like
Yeah, it's not
an
gonna be like the
entirely
train
different
now.
experience. This
Yeah.
is Amtrak. You know what I'm saying?
Amtrak's nice.
It's like
Amtrak
the
is
Japanese
nice, though.
bullet trains that they have over there.
Yeah.
Like they're like supposed to be real nice and everything.
Yeah.
And Mister
That
says they're
sounds
good.
expensive.
They're cool.
Yeah, that's no. They're the one that I took from
Ah,
was
here we
it?
go. He's
No,
gonna talk about
no.
Europe again.
Italy to yeah. I'm
Back
just
in
telling you that was
my
the only
day.
that was the fastest one I've ever been on, and it was comfortable. It was nice.
How much
you
was
don't-
it?
You don't feel it. I I don't know.
Was it cheap? Because Mister says the trains are usually cheaper to travel.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
No, this one was more expensive.
But I mean, knowing the United States is probably gonna be super.
But I think
expensive
because in
to travel.
Japan they have like more of them, right?
Wow,
Yeah,
they're very
this
popular
was
in
like
Japan.
one out of like the many.
Yeah. Dude, we've been rambling for
hour.
a while.
Yeah.
Feels like it.
We're actually at an hour.
A full hour?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sweet.
it feels like longer. Maybe because I haven't looked at you this long. I hate it.
It's been a while since
Yeah,
we've done
it's
this.
been a while.
Since we sat down and actually recorded.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's
We
fun,
ended
fun.
up talking about like one thing. the whole
Yeah.
time. Racism. Yeah, COVID
Yeah,
and racism. But yeah, the racism and COVID. Do you think COVID's racist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
You know
it's
who's being
COVID's
affected
racist.
less by COVID? I was just looking at this is Asians. But then I was telling my mom that and she goes, "Yeah, it's cuz Asians were wearing mouth covers before COVID even happened."
And they drink a lot of tea.
Yeah, probably.
They supplement really well.
Yeah.
Their immune systems are
Pretty strong.
pristine.
Yeah.
They kicked it quick.
Yeah, it's
they
that's
did.
great. That's why I think masks are going to be more common even after COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't like wearing masks, dude.
I
don't
I don't like wearing masks either. But then sometimes I find myself in like public, and I'm just like, I want to wear one.
Yeah.
Like people are gross.
Yeah. It's like that's like the whole social distancing at a store. It's like I know this homeless dude would be all up on me right now. I'm so glad for social distancing because
Yeah.
he stinks. I could smell him from 6 feet away. Because like Big G right
Yeah.
here, it's full of poor people.
Poor people. Ugh.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Wow, such an elitist. Full move to Fremont.
Hey,
like, all these poor people
living
in
the Bay Area
Sacramento.
life. Heck no,
Yeah.
there's heck of poor people in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
He's like, our homeless people in the Bay are like fitted. They have nice clothes and nice cars.
They drive Teslas.
You know what? I've asked Solomon this, but let me ask you guys: what's your solution for the homelessness problem? What would your solution
I
be?
have no idea.
Didn't we talk about this last time?
I don't know. I think we brought it up
That's
because
such a hard question to answer. Too.
yeah,
How do
it's
you
just
fix
like
homelessness? I don't know.
How do
I
you
don't know,
fix?
it's
how do
'cause
you
it's
fix
complex.
drug addiction and mental illness?
so. Like I didn't mean to get Solomon on this one, but I so like his solution was like, oh, you know, tax wealthy like businesses to like fix it. I was like, all right, you want to tax the rich? That's very anti-Republican of you, Saul. But anyway, but like that was his solution was have like Google and Facebook and all these other companies pay for it.
They could. I mean, since they all have their headquarters here in California, and California has a terrible homelessness problem.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
not a
you
bad
got to
idea.
look at the reasons why people are homeless.
A drug addiction and mental
Not all of
illness.
them are drug addiction.
No, a lot
Some
of them-
are because they
so
don't.
a lot
They
of them
can't
end up
afford it.
a lot of them
Oh
end
yeah,
up
that too.
on drugs after they become
They,
homeless.
yeah, because
That's
they're like,
there's a large percentage.
how do I numb
the pain?
me
yeah.
living out here in the woods with the
Yeah,
with
'cause
the
I was
squirrel?
reading-
I know.
I was reading I was reading a research paper on that about like addiction, and like
Yeah.
they were saying like two of the highest like groups that suffer from like alcoholism addiction are police officers, like law enforcement, and poor minorities. So like, and the reason they do that is because both of those groups will suffer are more likely to suffer PTSD.
I'm
So
a
they
poor
said
minority.
like one in five officers will have PTSD, but the more like crazy fact is that 1 in 3 children in like poor areas will suffer from PTSD by the time they're 16. And so
Yeah.
like a lot of them will self-medicate by doing drugs or drinking.
Mm.
And I was like, dude, that's crazy. And so
Yeah,
like that's
but
why
how do
their
you fix
addiction
Like, how do you
comes.
fix
Yeah,
that?
and it's like, how do you fix that? It's like you're
I mean, the thing is,
Does that go back to
the
systemic
problem is
like,
see for me
Ah.
is
situations and issues and problems?
I think so. I think like the way so like one of my big things
Your
like
upbringing.
I've always voted for whoever's had the best like education program. And like I'm not just saying like which who's gonna give schools more money because that's not always the simplest solution.
yeah. I was just gonna say, what is the best education program?
Like I really like John McCain's because like at the time a lot of school districts were suffering from what a lot of companies were suffering from. They still do. Where like your superintendent will get a fat bonus instead of that money going to actual schools. So John McCain's program back in 2008, he wanted to give schools vouchers.
Hmm.
Like, hey, we're gonna give you $1 million, but you're not gonna be able to spend the $1 million on whatever you want. We're gonna give you like 100,000 for just pencils only. Like obviously I'm making those numbers up, but that's basically how
Like
his
how
plan
it was
would
gonna
go.
work? Yeah.
Yeah, and of course schools didn't like that because they wanted freedom. And then like literally that next year, Twin Rivers, which is the school district I went to, they got in trouble because they had bought new office furniture for their entire like office building instead of having. And our Twin Rivers school districts are poor schools, you know, like they're notoriously poor schools. And so it's like, dude, they spent like $500,000 on their office furniture instead of that money going to schools.
Well, I mean, they need the chair with the wheels,
Yeah.
and you know they need
They need the
electronic
$10,000
staplers.
desk, and it's just like, dude, that's insane. Like,
Hey, oak wood desks, those are nice.
yeah. So it's like, but that going on, like, and I feel like schools are always the first thing to get cut, and that's why you have a lot of kids, and that's like what you were saying, systemic. I think the reason is because we're still going off like how we run schools. We ran them back in the 50s, which obviously our population's grown immense. Like things have changed from the 50s.
Oh,
It's like we still do track. Where like they'll track like how a kid's doing, so they put
Yeah.
him in that. And that worked back in the 60s when
But
really
not-
you would either be a doctor / lawyer or you would be like a, you know, like a warehouse worker or a farmer. You know, so that worked back then because then you didn't really need to concentrate too much on the warehouse worker. But you can't really make a living as a warehouse worker anymore.
it's
not like you
especially
did.
in California.
Yeah, especially like you used to. So like I think that needs to change, and that's why you see a lot of parents trying to put their kids in charter schools and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but the thing is, there is also the upbringing of people.
Yeah,
So if you grow up in a poor neighborhood, but you grow up with good values, you are able to get out of that. So like myself and my brother, dude, like we grew up in like poor, like I told you,
still live
our
in the
first,
poor, bro.
I'm still, yeah, my brother.
No, you're
he-
poor, but you don't
yeah,
live in the
my-
poor.
No,
you guys
but I
live
don't
in
live
like
in the poor.
middle class area.
Yeah.
My brother is like all right off.
He made it.
Yeah, but the thing is like,
What happened
but
to
it's
you,
because
man?
of-
Not just kidding.
well, I went to school. It's just I haven't got a permanent job, but it taught me not to, like, I still didn't steal. I still didn't like, you know, like do all these other
Right.
crazy things. So it also comes from like your family.
You didn't steal in Germany?
No,
But that's
no.
and that's where I was getting with education is like, well, how do you
They
fix
beat you
that?
over there.
You got to do like they're expensive, but you know I think they're worth it for certain kids.
Yeah.
It's like after school programs, or it's like, for instance, when I was working at the school district, and I talked to Stephanie about who works at the school, is like there's some kids who their only meal for that day is the lunch they get at school. So the fact that we still haven't we still haven't approved like free lunches for kids at least, it's like, dude, like why not?
That's insane, yeah.
Yeah. Or it's like, and like the worst part is when I'm talking to people who are like pro-life and they always give you the same verses, like from, you know, like, like, you know, because the kingdom of heaven is for the children or whatever, you know, it's like, but it's like, dude, like they don't stop being children after they're born. Like, you know, it's like, sure, I'm pro-life because I think abortion is bad, but I also think not wanting your taxes raised to help kids is also just as bad, in my opinion.
But how do you help the kids?
Like I said, you pass like where lunch is free for every school district, even for the ones that don't need the help, because there might be that one kid that does need the help.
Mm-hmm.
That one
So
kid
lunch
should be
free for everybody.
yeah, for all kids. No, for that school lunches should be free, because right now school lunches aren't free. You do know that, right?
They used to be.
No, they used to be for you because you were
'Cause I was
poor,
poor.
and
Because
because
you qualify
your
for it.
district would qualify.
Right.
So the thing is, you have a lot, like in California, right? It's expensive to live here. The problem is, like I was saying, like we still run our schools districts like if they're in the 50s. So if like $1,200 a month, like that's not a lot of money, to be honest, in California. If you're making $1,200 a month,
No,
but
nothing.
that's more than enough. You wouldn't qualify for free lunch in some districts.
With $1,200 a month.
Yeah, if you made $1,200 a month.
I
So
mean-
okay, so I think there should be like a reevaluation of
Yeah, but there hasn't been. That's
Yeah, and that's
not
the
what's
problem.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you
That's
have
insane.
people arguing, well, what's I can make
1,200.
in
Something
some
has
school
to be.
districts.
Oh,
Like the school district they used as an example when I was reading the article, that was their school district because they hadn't reevaluated it in months. And
yeah.
it's not the school district that reevaluates, it's the state, because that's where they get the money from. Like that's another thing. School districts don't really make like these top tier decisions like a lot of people think they do.
So you think? So you're saying that giving kids lunch is one good way to?
No, well I'm saying like this is like after school, like they've cut after school programs and like early like Head Start. Remember Head Start growing
Mhm.
up? Yeah, like
Yeah.
they cut those programs and stuff like that. and because it was like they didn't have money for it.
Yeah, because it costs money.
And like when you were saying like good values, well, it's like if a kid's not lucky enough, I'll be honest, I was blessed to have parents that love each other and that like were good parents that
Yeah.
showed us good value. Some kids aren't that lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Some kids, the only time they ever do get any type of emotional support is at school. But there's some schools that are so poor that can't provide it, and those poor schools tend to be in poor areas.
So what he's saying is, if they had
Yeah,
the funding for
the
that
funding,
school program,
but the problem
more
is
like that.
no one ever really wants to approve school funding because that's always seen as like a non-necessity, when in some cases it's not.
Yeah, it's insane.
And it's like, and
but
that's why I'm saying,
I get that makes sense, but the problem is money's scarce too. Like you can't.
that's
just
like
keep
what I was
printing
saying
money.
earlier, where it's like, dude,
So it's like-
money is scarce, but we still spend $60 billion a year on the military.
Anti-military guy. No, I get it.
And that's
I
what I'm saying,
get
like,
60
and
okay,
Good point, good point.
you're spending it not wisely.
Yes, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's like, and like the fact that like there's politicians out there that will argue against providing free lunches for kids, but don't have a problem signing that $60 billion a year paycheck is an issue.
Mm-hmm. That's a
Or like there was a debate from I think it was Georgia for the Senate seat in Georgia, and like the guy had called out one of the senator of Georgia at the time because what he did was in January when they all got a briefing on like the COVID crisis, he invested in a bunch of companies that make like masks, and they make like this cough shields and stuff like that. So then he got in trouble for it, and like he's under investigation. A senator is under investigation because of all that. And it's just like, dude, like how can you vote for this guy who does shady stuff like this? Instead of prepping the state, he went out and made sure he was gonna get money off of it
Where was this again?
in Georgia. But it's like he's not the only one to do that. There was a lot of people got in trouble for that, Republicans and Democrats. It's just like because politicians are
Figures.
shady,
Yeah, they've
And
always
it's just-
had like
yeah.
that MO.
Yeah, and that's what brings my whole thing where it's like I don't really care for either Democrats or Republicans because they're all shady people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, this took a depressing turn.
I know.
Sorry about that. But it's like it's like stuff like that. It's like really random.
Yeah,
Really random. Yeah, we went on a random tangent.
I mean, it was always kind of depressing. We're talking about racism and COVID.
Yeah,
But before this, we were doing the Disney thing. We were doing the voting for our favorite Disney characters or not movies.
Movie.
oh yeah, we had that.
We had the bracket. We never even finished
We didn't
it.
finish it. I still have it
To
actually.
be continued.
Yeah, we'd have to finish
Next
that.
podcast.
Next
podcast.
podcast.
We'll
I
make
think,
this
I think
happen.
Lion King's gonna end up winning for me.
Yeah. Well, good thing it's three of us.
Then you
You're an
won.
idiot.
I think Aladdin.
The new one?
One
Is that what
line.
you said?
Oh, not the new one. Sorry, not the new one. No, not the new one. Live action. That looked kind of weird, creepy.
It was not that good.
It was alright. I mean,
I haven't liked any of the live action Disney movies, to be honest.
I haven't
Jungle
seen
Book
any
was
of them.
alright.
Didn't they remake the Beauty and the Beast?
They remade Beauty and the
that
Beast.
was I like that one actually. That
What,
wasn't
Beauty and
that
the
bad.
Beast?
Yeah.
Live
That was
action.
alright. I didn't like Gaston. And Gaston's one of my favorite Disney characters.
Some people argue that he's actually the protagonist and
Yes.
the other guy is the antagonist.
Yeah, Beast is the antagonist.
Yeah.
And Gaston is because he's
Yes.
doing what
Yeah.
any normal person would have
would
done.
have
done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hey, it's a monster that has a girl kidnapped. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go try to kill it.
Yeah.
And then we're hearing nothing but horrible things about Mulan.
Yeah, Mulan's not good.
I,
I
heard
I watched
sucked.
it. It's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's just not Mulan. And like
Yeah.
this is a problem I have when they do these types of reboots. Is like, just call it something else. It doesn't have to be called Mulan.
Yeah.
But they want
'Cause they
they
didn't
want
even
the
have the
they want the
dragon.
money from the name.
Yeah.
So it's like this is what happened when they made the new Karate Kid movie. It had nothing to do with the old Karate Kid movie. Remember?
Oh, the Jaden.
Is
Jaden
Tenet
Smith one?
is Tenet its own original movie or is
Yeah,
it a remake?
It's an
That's-
original movie.
See, that's cool. Like that's rare nowadays. Everything's a reboot or a
Christopher
remake.
Nolan's
a
movies.
remake
Well,
or
that one
live
and
action.
Inception and Memento were all original ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Looper was. What did you guys think about Looper?
Looper was based off a book, but it was a good movie.
That's cool.
But that's fine. Like from a book, that's fine. But not like, oh, we're gonna remake
Oh,
from
then Dunkirk was good.
Dunkirk.
was really good.
I think I watched that. That was.
Yeah. It
Oh,
told like
you know
three
which one?
different stories. and-
1917 was actually pretty
Oh,
good
I haven't
too.
seen it.
I
Is
haven't
it
seen
good?
That
it.
one's pretty good,
Is
dude. Uh,
I heard it
I'm
was
a-
pretty good.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Do you guys watch Parasite?
I
We talked
didn't.
about that.
I didn't
No.
watch Parasite.
It's on
you
Hulu.
talked
It
about
was
it.
pretty good.
You know what movie has been like making waves is the Train to Busan.
Yeah, that's a
The
good movie.
Korean,
You
I
never
haven't
seen
seen it.
That's a good movie. It's a good zombie movie.
Yeah, they were saying it's like probably one of the best zombie movies like out.
Yeah, out.
Did
They
you
have
guys
a
like
sequel
World War
coming
Z?
War Z was okay.
What was it? Was
I
alright.
thought it was a pretty cool zombie movie. Or
Yeah.
Zombieland 2 was a good movie.
Zombieland 1 was a cool movie.
Yeah.
That was a great
Oh, I
movie.
forgot there's a second. That one sucked?
Oh, I thought you said Zombieland 2.
Well, he meant Zombieland.
also.
comma
two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you talking about actual Zombieland
No,
2.
no,
I was
no.
like, no,
That
that
one,
Zombieland
I haven't
1.
seen that one. One was good.
One was good. Two was You didn't go with us to go watch that?
No.
Did you go with us
Which one?
to go watch Zombieland 2?
I think I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that one was alright.
Yeah. So call it a wrap or what?
I
Yeah.
think so, man.
I think this is it for us.
This is a good comeback.
Getting
Yeah.
kind of
episode.
tired, kind of hungry.
Yeah,
know.
a little hungry.
I can sense the room. You guys are like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of out of it. So that's gonna be it for the really random podcast for today.
just for today.
We will be back.
Yeah,
For
we'll
sure.
be back.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna start making these more regularly. Once again, I'm your host, Ruben Frosto Jr. with.
Abraham.
And Josue.
Cool. Later, guys.
See you next time.
Laters.